Hello students. In this session, let us understand the poem Ozymandiaz by P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley, better known for his lyrical and long-form verse, was prominent English romantic poet and was one of the most highly regarded and influential poets of the 19th century. Shelley is best known for his classic anthology verse works such as Ode to the West Wind, The Mask of Anarchy. He is also well known for his long-form poetry, including Queen Mab and Alastor. He went on many adventures with his second wife Mary Shelley, the author of Frank Einstein. This sonnet, Ozymandiaz, from 1817 is probably Shelley's most famous and most anthologized poem, which is somewhat strange considering that it is in many ways a typical poem for Shelley. The poem is about the once great king's proud boast has been ironically disproved. Ozymandias' works have crumbled and disappeared. His civilization is gone, as has been turned to dust by the impersonal, indiscriminate, destructive power of history. The ruined statue is now merely a monument to one man's hubris and a powerful statement about the insignificance of human beings to the passage of time. Ozymandias' poem begins with Shelley's narrator recalling that he met a traveler from an ancient land. This traveler then narrates the remainder of the poem. The first part of the poem is about the traveler's story that reads, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed." These lines describe a ruin that the traveler came upon in the desert. Its size and material are first described as vast and trunkless legs of stone. But the next lines concentrate on the disheveled appearance of the statue. It is half sunk, its face shattered. The facial expression is described as one of cold command, and the traveler interprets this as accurate when he says that the sculptor, those passions read. This means that the artist understood the personality and temperament of the subject as exhibited by the statue's visage. A contrast is employed when Shelley has the traveler say that those passions yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things. This begins the juxtaposition that will continue and prove so important to poem's central idea. Here the contrast is between the lifelike accuracy of the face and the fact that it is sculpted from stone. The eighth line implies that portrait is not exactly flattering as the hand of the sculptor has mocked the ruler's features, while his heart or temperament fed the expression or inspired it. The remaining section of the poem introduces the ironic inscription on the statue's pedestal and elaborates upon contrast between the powerful expression on the face of statue and its current state of ruin. The lines read, "And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandiaz, King of Kings. Look on my works, a mighty and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." The statue's subject is revealed here. Ozymandias, who was King of Kings. The latter qualifier subtly refers to Ozymandias' inflated concept of his own power and position. He then tells anyone who would view his monument to look on his works, and he believes that his accomplishments will continue to impress everyone to come upon them in the future. He believes that his legacy will strike fear into the hearts of all passers-by. He is wrong, of course, as the traveler points out that this inscription and its accompanying sculpture are surrounded by decay and are now nothing but a colossal wreck. The pairing of words, boundless and bare, is another example of juxtaposition, which implies the lack of meaning that remains in the ruin. The boundless and lone sands go on as far as the eye can see, while Ozymandias' power has no reach and no range. This is central irony of the poem. The king's perception of his own power is now mocked by its ruined statue amidst the desert landscape. The last line, that is, "My name is Ozymandiaz, King of Kings. Look upon my works, a mighty and despair." This is the irony of the poem. Ozymandias is a sonnet, a 14-line poem metered in iambic pentameter. The rhyme scheme is somewhat unusual for a sonnet of this era. It does not fit a conventional Petrarchan pattern, but instead interlinks the octave, a first part of the 8 lines, with the suzette, the last 6 lines, by gradually replacing old rhymes with new ones in the form AB, AB, AC, DC, ED, EF, EF. Thus, Ozymandias is a sonnet written by Shelley, and it is written in iambic pentameter and gains much of its power from the taut complexion of its language. The vivid evocation of the ruined statue underlines the hubris of Ozymandias' proud boast, "Look on my works." The irony is, of course, that mighty will despair, not at the power of Ozymandias, but at the recognition that their power is ultimately transitory. With this,